Good morning, friends. Welcome to my YouTube channel of Astrologer Anil Agarwal. Today we will be talking about the planet Jupiter, which is a 100% benefic planet and the divine planet for expansion, for prosperity, and if Jupiter is placed well in your chart, a person progresses in life. Jupiter is a divine planet and it gives you knowledge, it gives you expansion, it gives you wealth. But unfortunately, today we are discussing that Jupiter will be in a most afflicted condition from the 14th of September to 20th of November. Jupiter gets afflicted in the following ways. First of all, retrogression. It is not good in retrogression, especially in the present circumstances. On the 20th June, Jupiter went in retrogression when it was in the star of Rahu. Now, Jupiter is falling back in the sign Capricorn. So it is a fallen planet. There will not be any Neech Bhang Raj Yoga in this case. A lot of astrologers have talked about Neech Bhang. Neech Bhang cannot take place for a planet who's fallen. Then we were talking, Jupiter in retrogression is most malefic. Jupiter with Rahu Ketu forming Guru Chandal Yoga is most malefic. Jupiter in debilitation is most malefic. And Jupiter when fallen is most malefic. Jupiter when combusted is not good. So, there are 6 stages, 6 parameters by which a planet can be afflicted. And Jupiter, the planet for expansion and the 9th lord of the natural zodiac, will be retrograde, it will be debilitated, and it will also be fallen. If you compare in the past, I have not been able to find out when Jupiter was also fallen in Capricorn retrograde. I went back 60 years back, 120 years back, 180 years back, I couldn't find. But yes, at the time of the First World War, Jupiter was in debilitation, it was retrogression at 26.25 degrees, and now from the 14th of September, it will be very close to it. And there are 5 parameters which are similar. First of all, Jupiter is parallel like the Mahabharata. At the time of Mahabharata, Jupiter was in Shravana Nakshatra in the sign Capricorn. At the time of the biggest earthquake in Mexico, it was on the 19th September 1985, Jupiter was in debilitation at 13 degrees in Shravana Nakshatra, and now Saturn is there on that degrees. Mind you, sir, it is most malefic. Even for Mexico, the future is not very good. Then you talk about the coronavirus. The coronavirus broke out when Jupiter was debilitated. Jupiter entered in the sign Capricorn on the 30th April 2020, and just before that coronavirus broke out. So friends, the situations are parallel, and then the worst thing is the lunation of 13 days from the 7th of September. In the lunation of the 13 days, Jupiter is falling back. It is most venomous, and especially when Sun goes in Virgo, then at that time the Gemini ascendant would be rising. This transit of Jupiter is most venomous and explosive for countries who have been given sign of Gemini. Varaha Mira has given this sign to USA, and for India it is the Capricorn sign, and it will be in the 9th house of the India Foundation chart. So there will be religious fundamentalism also, and not good as the 8th lord and the 11th lord, it will be fallen in the 9th house. It is not good. And then friends, the declination of planets play a very important role. When now we come to the individual charts, Jupiter and Saturn conjunction takes place every 20 years. And 20 years back, if you look at 20 years back, then it was 2000 2001. And if you look back 40 years back, 2001, I needn't explain it, 9/11 took place. And if you go 20 years back, then it is 1981. And most of the people who are born in 1981 and who have Jupiter and Saturn in close degrees, they are in suffering. You take the case of Mahendra Singh Dhoni, you take the case of the cricketer who was divorced his wife after 8 years. He's also born in 1981. And the number of cases which are coming to me every day, I can predict their date of birth even according to the planetary positions at the time of question. Just by knowing it, within 2 minutes most of the cases I've been able to tell. The person is born in late 1980 or early 1981 or in July 1981. So like that, because you see, Jupiter and Saturn conjunction took place in close degrees 3 times in 1981. So those 3 time frames and those 3 months are very important. So most of the people who will be coming to you, they will be somewhere in that month, depending upon the moon's placement. So friends, and then after 40 years is the declination. Venus will be falling over Venus. So, and Jupiter and Saturn conjunction in a trinal sign from the sign Capricorn. Whosoever has it will have troubles, and most of the people are having troubles. So people, and Venus will be over Venus. Mahendra Singh Dhoni chart, Venus is afflicted, and then Jupiter and Saturn are within 1 degree. So he is liable to be in problem. I have narrated so many cases on my website. You can see for yourself, and all my predictions as per the declination, even without the time of birth, is proving spot on. So this period is a time of alert. It is for even the stock and financial markets. It is also for the earthquakes. It is also for brawl between the nations. It is also for religious fundamentalism. And you have seen in the chart of Afghanistan, the 17th July 1973, Jupiter is debilitated in the 10th house. And you have seen the conditions. And Ashraf Ghani had Jupiter debilitated in the whichever house, but he had a Neech Bhang Rajog. The Jupiter was not retrograde, and that is why he could escape. So this is all, friends. I just wanted to share that this time frame is most venomous. Unlike 180 years back or maybe 240 years back, I have not been able to find out when Jupiter was even fallen in this sign Capricorn. Fallen adds, it becomes most venomous. It is just like a car going up the hill and it loses motion and it comes back without brakes and it falls from heights. And such a planet in the chart of a native also can take the person to heights, but he can push him from heights to a downfall. So such a planet is very dangerous, and especially in the transit. It is also if you study the education part, if any education question comes during this period when Jupiter is afflicted, they will not be able to perform. He may be the best student in the class, but he will not be able to perform during this period when Jupiter is debilitated, fallen, and retrograde. So this is all, friends. I just wanted to say, share my views, and I have even given the dates. Those people who are born in 1949, 1973, 1985, 2000, 1997, 2000, and if you go 20 years back, then you can see accordingly 1981, 80, 81. So all these people, I mentioned all the years who have this conjunction will have a big change in their life. Maybe it's good or bad depending upon their horoscope, but it is going to bring a big change. So that's all, friends. I just wanted to share. Thank you for listening to me. Have a good day. Bye-bye.